June 15, 2022, law enforcement held a press conference to discuss the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells, who has now been missing for a year. Leslie Earhart from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation once again spoke on how misinformation spread on social media is not helping but is actually hurting little Summer's case. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers, and we appreciate those people, Earhart said. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posts as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Earhart encouraged people to call the TBI tip line only if they have direct information, not claims from YouTube videos or theories from Facebook. Allow me to share a prime example of what she is speaking about.
I don't feel like I got as much. I feel like I didn't get as much done. I don't know. But I did get done one major goal. Were really two major goals, kind of. Well, one of them wasn't really a goal because I didn't think I was going to go to the vigil, but so I did get to go to the vigil for a couple hours. Did make it to that, so the one, now I'm in Virginia. To all you Virginians, right over, just across the line. Wow, you guys aren't allowed to, radar detectors are illegal in Virginia? Just saw a sign about it. So, made it to the vigil, and yes, I talked to Fred Hill. So happy about that. And talked to his wife. And nobody else talked to Fred Hill. Like, what the freak? Come on, guys. Somebody get up there and talk to the man, please. I need some different perspectives. This guy, I need people to see that he's not like what people are saying. That, like Jody Sue has put out there, and people, like, the guy's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I mean, I'm not saying he probably doesn't he probably dabbles in some illegal activities. But he said law enforcement knows all about that.
Didn't get enough done? What the fuck does that even mean? I thought it was about Summer's vigil. Obviously to Ziggy it was about talking to people that have proved to be not very credible. But it's content, and that's all Ziggy cares about, obviously. And why is she so obsessed with trying to make people think Fred Hill is such a nice guy? She doesn't even know him herself. But I don't know, maybe they bonded over the disgusting bone stunt Ziggy pulled.
He doesn't have any he's not like, nothing like serious stuff, but I mean, he's not like Mr. Innocent or anything, but he was not, he was real, I mean, he's just a real nice guy. His wife, described him like, as a, doormat. I'm like, oh, sounds familiar. She said that she's always getting on him about people using him and taking advantage of him. Because he'll do anything for anybody, you know? So everybody needs to toughen up a little bit. Use as the excuse that Ziggy said, like, hey, be like, hey, Ziggy said, that you wouldn't mind if I stopped by or whatever. He's super cool. You know, and if he doesn't feel like talking, how to know if he's there is look in in his driveway. You'll see a truck, a dark colored truck in the driveway. There's several vehicles like at the bottom of his drive and stuff, because he works on cars, and he'll purchase junk cars and fix them up and resell, or people will give him ones that that they need off the property, like he'll tow them, stuff like that. But it will be in his driveway. That's how to tell if he's home. And one thing I wanted to correct. I don't know where I got it. Look how much gas went up 75 cents just going over the border of Virginia. Oh no, it's $4.64 over there. So I guess that's I'm not saying my.
Oh, come the fuck on, Ziggy. Does anyone else notice how Ziggy has a hard time staying on topic when she's fixing to spread some more he said she said bullshit that could potentially damage the case of a missing child? And Ziggy, get over yourself. I don't think it's fear that keeps people from going to talk to Fred Hill, you dumbass. Anyone with half a brain can figure out that him and his wife are not being honest, or at the very least are telling half-truths. And he is a convicted felon, which makes you, Ziggy, usually automatically assume that if a person has a felony that they are a low-life scumbag, right, Ziggy? Why is Fred Hill different?
But Fred's wife it's not really his wife. They've been together for, she said, almost 20 years. But her name's Laura. Tina is his ex-wife. I don't know why I thought that her name was Tina. I mean, I know, like, I saw on his background. I mean, maybe I got that off his background, because there was his wife's name's Laura. They have or not his wife, they're not married, but they have 2 kids together. Fred Jr., the second, or maybe I shouldn't say their names. But yeah, they have 2 kids. Everybody's a junior down there. He said that they people like, he said a lot of people that it's, and like he said it himself, not anything I suggested or anything. I tried not to lead, and you know what? I was also paying attention to how he would answer, and he was answering everything exactly the same as last time. And he still stands by that there was a prostitution ring going on over there down there by where the other little area that Don and his ex-wife used to live on that property. He said, I go, even that there's a sign? He said, yeah. I'm like, well, I guess, they say he was holding the sign trying to sell his son when he was a baby, so I guess it's not too far-fetched, I guess. And then he said about the Rose Bly thing, actually, I didn't talk to him, I don't think, about Rose Bly, but I did his wife, because the first time I went, he wasn't there, so I came back later, and thankfully he was pulling in right when I got there. But she said that she could have swore that Rose lived down there for a short time, like a long time ago, but I don't think it's anything that they were intentionally misleading. I think we're talking about a long time ago. I mean, I can't even freaking remember what I did like yesterday. His memory, I'm telling you though, her memory is not is not like, I could just tell. Like, I sat there and talked to her for a couple hours when I first went there yesterday. Her memory, he is like super sharp as far as memory. I mean, it seemed like to me like a photographic memory. The way he would talk about things, not just Summers, not just the day Summer went missing, but yeah, he said like, yeah, he's been like that his whole life. I'm like, man, I'm like, and he's been very, I will say this, and this is all I'll say about this, because he's been very beneficial to the investigation.
Oh my god, I just can't with this bitch. Rambling on about Fred Hill's excellent memory and whorehouse signs, and now we are supposed to believe that he's important to the case? If he was so damn important and knew so much about the case, it should be solved by now. Fred Hill and his wife, or whatever she is, are just two more people inserting themselves into Summer's case, spreading bullshit, and Ziggy is happy to help them do it for content because she's a dumb bitch that only cares about getting content for her channel.
He remembers everything from the day Summer went missing, except one thing he says that bugs him. And has bugged him ever since. He said there was a truck that pulled in. There was a truck that pulled in, and the afternoon, or I guess, I don't know, it was been afternoon, I think, earlier afternoon. The day Summer went missing. If you get to Fred's, where Fred's at, oh shit, I have to call, dang it, it's gonna, hold on. His house on Ben Hill is like deep in the holler, like hollow, whatever, holler. It's like the second to the last house, and people don't go by there that often. And one thing that stuck out in his mind, which of course I have everything like recorded, but hopefully I listened back to a little bit of it, and I noticed it was why I'm hoping I can intensify the sound a little bit. One thing that stuck out in his mind though was that he was working on a vehicle near the end of his drive. Like, I guess it would have been afternoon time. And there was a truck that came by, that drove by, you said, and he was like, and it was sitting, it was sitting, it was his driveway, which was really one house, like, after it. And it would be a very odd place, like, he thought that the truck, like, was turning around, like, because a lot of people, he said, like, if they go down that far, a lot of times they'll go down to the last house and turn around, because it's a very narrow road. So extremely narrow, especially closer to and a truck passed. He said the one thing I cannot remember is I cannot think of what kind of truck that was, or who was driving it. I think he said it was some man. I haven't recorded, but that's not it. He said that the person was sitting down there in this truck. He thought at first that they were going to turn around, and then when they turned around and just waited, he thought that the people thought, like, or the person that was driving thought that that Fred was getting ready to leave, and thought maybe the guy was like waiting for him to let him pull out just to be nice or something. But no, like, the guy never like moved, and he didn't really think much of it, so he just left over to his mom's, which was down at a little bit of, it's, I don't know how far up, towards, Donna Candace's, but nowhere near it, but it's towards that way. He went over there, left to his mom's in his truck, and he was at the end of his mom's driveway working on something down by the road. And he started to think, like, he remembered that truck never left. The truck never left. And then he saw a car. I forget what color of car he said, but he remembers, like, the color of the car. He even remembers it was a girl, a young girl, around 18, or he said that she looked like she was like 18 or 19 years old. And he described her hair as sandy blonde, and said that she then drove by. His mom's is even way down there too. I mean, his mom's is just like the next one up from his, like when you're going out of the holler, it's not far up. It's one of the next ones after his. It's at 165, and even though that might sound close, to 110, it's really not, because there's a lot of space in between each property. And so then he sees that girl pull in. But wait, there's more. And she goes back there. And then I don't know, you'll hear him describe it. It probably, I'm not a very good storyteller. He sees Andy pull in. Jody Sue's ex going by that way. Well, what the hell was Andy doing back there? He doesn't live back there. He goes back there. Then he sees, like, later on, all three of those vehicles leave out of the hauler together. So that would have been, and he said, by the way, Andy is on camera back there in the hauler the day Summer went missing. He said he knows for a fact there was camera footage, because his stuff was getting stolen. Like silly stuff was getting stolen, like their, decorations and stuff like that. So somebody put up cameras on Ben Hill, I think around near Simpson Road, if I remember what he's saying. And he said that Andy is on camera. They know all who was in and out of that hauler that day. And I mean, he's like, I am certain 100% Andy was in there, and he was there.
Okay, Ziggy, why didn't he say all that the first time you talked to him? Doesn't make sense in my opinion that he is just now saying all this when he didn't mention it the first time you talked to him. Too busy with the bones, I guess.
He's talked to law enforcement several times. He said 3 or 4 times since I was there. Like I said, he's been a great resource for law enforcement. And I can't tell you guys exactly why. I mean, you guys know I tell everything I can, but there is just like a small portion I cannot say, but besides the fact that he's been very very important. So I hope that means that hopefully law enforcement what can you guys tell me? I don't know if I'll be able to see really because I'm driving, but can you attempt to tell me what you guys heard last that I said, because I don't want to repeat a bunch of stuff, but I'm obviously not going to say anything I feel like would interfere with the case or anything Fred asked me not to say. Like I just said, I don't even know if it would really interfere, but still I don't know.
Oh boy, she's really wanting people to think that Fred Hill is so important to Summer's case. It's pathetic. It's so sick how she keeps bringing this hearsay bullshit to YouTube to spread around. And of course it could potentially harm the investigation. She could be talking to a suspect for all we know. It really blows my mind that people think Ziggy really cares about Summer Wells. She started her channel by spreading rumors that she had allegedly heard from some woman she met on Facebook. She has spread rumors about Summer's brothers who are in state's custody, which means their privacy should be protected over and over again.